My bedroom door always stayed closed. And I was sure I was the one who always locked it. But one night, I locked it from the inside. And when I woke up, it was wide open. That's when I installed a security camera. I wanted to see what was going on. When I checked the footage, I saw something I'll never forget. Every night at exactly 3:02 a.m., my bedroom door would open. From the inside. No one came in. No one left. It just opened by itself. That's when I realized I wasn't the only one living in that house. There was someone else. Someone I never saw. I remember that morning clearly. I was watching the footage. And at exactly 3:02 a.m., my bedroom door slowly opened from the inside. My breath caught in my throat. I replayed it in slow motion. But there was no one there. No human shadow. Just the door opening on its own. My hands went cold. And for the first time, I felt like I wasn't alone in that house. That same day, I called my mom. I told her, something weird is happening. Every night at 3 a.m., my bedroom door opens, but no one's there. She just said, "You're overthinking it. Don't stress. It's nothing." But I knew it wasn't stress. It was something else. For the next 2 nights, I put 2 locks on the inside and adjusted the camera angle so I could see everything clearly. On the 3rd night, while I watched the footage, my blood ran cold. At exactly 3:02 a.m., the door opened and someone stood by my bed. But on camera, their face was blurred, like someone smeared their hand across the lens, or like the face was never really there. The next morning, when I tried to get up, I couldn't. My legs were completely numb, like someone had tied me down from the waist down. The doctor said, "There's nothing physically wrong. Your body looks fine." But I couldn't walk. And from that day on, I've been stuck in this bed. Every night, at 3 a.m., it comes. The door opens. And it comes in. Without saying a word. It just stands there. By the bed. And watches me. Close enough to touch. I don't know if it's human or something else. But one thing I know for sure. I'm not the only one in this house. I haven't been able to walk since that day. And after that night, I only felt one thing. The true meaning of loneliness. When your bedroom door opens every night, and you can't do anything. You can only watch. Time just stops. For the first few nights, I stayed silent. Thought it was just hallucinations. But then, I started watching the clock closely. Every night, at exactly 3:02 a.m., the door opens. And it comes back. That thing. I can't see it. But I can feel it. A coldness spreads through the house. And my body freezes. I couldn't scream. Couldn't move. I could only watch. That door. And the dark figure. That comes to stand right next to me. Every single night, silently. One night, I set up a motion alarm on the camera and kept my phone next to me. So if someone came, I'd at least hear a sound. The alarm never went off. But the next day, when I checked the footage, the door opened again. The figure appeared. And for a few seconds, my face blurred. It was like it wasn't looking at me. It was looking through me. I emailed a therapist. I wrote, "I think there's something in my room. Something watching me. I haven't walked in days. I don't feel alone at night." Their reply was, "This may be sleep paralysis paired with isolation anxiety. You need company." But I knew this wasn't sleep paralysis. It was something else. Something alive, without a sound. Then that night, something new happened. I felt it wasn't just standing by my bed. The sound was coming from beneath the bed, like someone was breathing softly. But the breath was going backwards. Not in, not out. Like someone was reversing the air. I didn't close my eyes that night. It came. The door in the room opened. Cold air flowed. The reversed breath reached my chest. And for the first time, I heard it. Its voice, a faint whisper, right next to my ear. "Get up, or I will come in." The next morning, my phone was dead. The camera was off. And the door was locked from the inside. But I remember, I didn't lock it. And the worst part, there was something written under my bed. In black marker. "I'm coming back." My hands were shaking. I didn't understand. What had I gotten myself into? But one thing was clear. This wasn't just a haunting. It was someone's waiting. Tied to time. And that wait is ending. After that night, everything changed for me. Sleep, time, sound, all different. I couldn't walk anymore. But now, I couldn't even sleep. I kept reading that line every day. "I'm coming back." Each time, it felt deeper. Like it wasn't just a threat. It was a promise. It came every night. At the same time. Getting closer with every visit. More alive. One day, I tried watching my old recordings again. But everything was corrupted. Black frames. Reversed sounds. And at one point, words appeared on the screen. "You called me." When did I call it? How? Maybe when I was most alone. When tears filled my eyes. And fear consumed my heart. That's when it listened. Then something strange happened. Things started changing inside my room. The light bulb flickered on its own. Shadows appeared on the walls, with no source. And my mirror. I didn't see myself in it anymore. I saw someone else's face. But they weren't lying on the bed like me. They were standing. One day, I gathered courage. Turned on the voice recorder on my phone. And whispered, "If you're there, tell me. What did you want?" Silence all night. But the next morning, the recording held a voice. A dirty, burning hiss. "You wanted to walk, didn't you? I want to walk with your legs." That day, I felt a little sensation return to my legs. The nurse said, "That's a good sign. Maybe you'll walk again soon." But I knew this wasn't recovery. It was an invasion. It was coming inside me, bit by bit. Then one night, I saw it, right in front of me. The room was dark, but I could see it without any light. Thin, tall. The shape of its head wasn't human, and its eyes looked like they were coming out, not going in. It came right to the bed, and said, "You won't last long. I will settle into this body." It reached out its hand, and when its long, thin fingers touched my chest, I felt like my breath didn't go in. It went straight inside it. I couldn't move. It had already entered. Then I remember blacking out. And when I opened my eyes, I was walking. But I wasn't me. My legs moved like someone else's. I looked at my reflection and saw something else. I was there, but not inside. I never went back to bed. It did. The thing in the bed now is my body, but I'm not inside. I'm trapped somewhere else. Inside the room. In the same dimension where it came from. If you're hearing this and you live alone, here's one thing you need to know. Locking your bedroom door isn't enough. Some things open from the inside, and they wait longer than you do. If the door opens at 3 a.m. and no one's there, don't look where no one is, because it's not meant for your eyes. It's only for the thing that's watching from the inside. The door opens every night at 3 a.m., but I'm not the one on this side anymore. They warned me not to stay alone in that house, especially not at night. But I never believed in ghosts. I thought I'd just gather some old memories, pack a few things, and leave. But on the very first night, soft, slow creak sounds coming from the living room woke me up. When I went downstairs, I saw it. Grandma's old wooden rocking chair, rocking on its own, slowly but steadily. And the scariest part, when I got closer, it stopped, as if someone saw me, and quickly hid. That was only the first night. By the third night, I was praying before passing that chair, because it wasn't just rocking anymore. It was calling my name. And when I looked under the chair, there was something that could break anyone, forever. But the real fear came when I looked into the mirror behind the chair and realized Grandma had never really left that house. And now she wants me to stay forever. That chair was right in front of my bed, and someone was sitting in it. I just stared at it, completely still. Was it a woman? Was it Grandma? Or something else? All I could see was a silhouette. Darkness in the moonlight, but with a clear shape. In moments like this, people don't scream. They just forget to breathe. My hands got sweaty. My spine went cold. The chair slowly started rocking. But this time, it was like someone was gently swinging in it. Creak. Then the dark silhouette lifted its head. I still couldn't see its face, but its movement felt like it was staring right at me, straight into my eyes. I stopped blinking. There was only one thought in my mind. This is real. Not imagination. Not sleep paralysis. It was really here. I slowly pulled the blanket over my head and hid behind it. I'm 22 years old, but in that moment, I felt like a 6-year-old kid. I took a shaky breath and prayed that when I peeked out from under the blanket, the chair would be empty. I don't know how long I waited, but when I finally lifted the blanket, the chair was gone. Yes, back in its usual place, in the living room, where it always Saturday. The next morning, I tried to convince myself, Ethan, you're losing it. You're tired. You're stressed. It's all in your head. But somewhere deep inside, something whispered, she's back. That house. I'd known it since I was a kid. Spent summer vacations with Grandma there. That chair was always part of it. Always. Every evening, she'd sit there knitting. Every creak of that chair reminded me of old memories. But now, that same sound was breaking me apart. Later that evening, while making coffee in the kitchen, I felt like someone was watching me from behind. I turned around. Empty hallway. But that feeling didn't go away. Then, the fridge magnet fell off on its own. Clink. A tiny noise. But in the silence, it exploded like a bomb. I bent down to pick it up and saw something under the fridge. An old photo. Black and white. Grandma. And behind her, that chair. But something strange. Grandma was smiling. But in the chair, someone else was there. A blurry face that at first glance could be ignored. But if you looked closer, it was staring right back into your eyes. I felt a chill run through me. That face burrowed itself into my mind. Night was falling. I decided to leave the living room lights on and try to sleep. I set my phone camera facing the chair and started recording. All night, part of me kept saying, I need proof. I need evidence of what's happening. At 2:33 a.m., I didn't wake up to any noise. I was already awake. The chair didn't make a sound this time. It just turned off my camera. The phone screen went black, and I saw the charging cord had been cut, like someone had sliced it with a blade. At that exact moment, I heard a sound from downstairs. Not a creak. The clicking of knitting needles. Tick, tack, tick, tack. Like someone was knitting a sweater. Like Grandma. I remember hearing that sound as a kid when she knitted while watching TV. But now, that sound, at 2:33 a.m., in an empty house. Who was doing it? I peeked down the stairs, and there she was, in a white robe, head bowed, and knitting needles in her hands. And the chair, rocking as if alive. Then she raised her head, and this time, I saw her face. It wasn't Grandma. It was something else. Her cheeks torn apart, eyes sunken deep inside, and her mouth whispering my name. Ethan. Ethan, why did you come here? I went downstairs. That voice wouldn't stop. It came from everything. The fridge, the pipes, the floor. When I reached the living room, the chair was empty. Knitting needles lying on the floor, and written in the middle of the room was, "Go back." But when I went back to my bedroom, I saw my suitcase was open on the bed, and inside, there was only one thing. Grandma's old white robe, stained with blood, and inside it, a note. You are now part of this house. What my eyes saw, my mind refused to accept. The suitcase, the one I had closed, was now open. And inside, Grandma's same white robe, the one I buried with her after the funeral. But now the robe was in my belongings, and on its edges, there were blood stains. Old, dried, but real. Underneath it was a small folded paper. When I opened it, it said, "You are now part of this house." At that moment, something strange happened. The room's temperature dropped. The fan was off, windows closed. Yet a cold breeze brushed the back of my neck, like someone was standing right behind me. I turned around, but no one was there. Then, right by my ear, a faint voice whispered, "Don't sit in the chair." I went down to the living room. The chair was where it always was, like nothing had happened. But something was different about its wood. I couldn't see it with the naked eye. But when I got closer, I noticed a deep scratch on the armrest. Just 2 words. Maggie, 1961. Maggie. That was Grandma's real name. But 1961? She was only 14 then. Could this chair be connected to her childhood? I decided to go to the attic. There were some old belongings untouched for years. As soon as I opened the attic door, a bell-like sound rang once. Inside, it felt like time had stopped. Dust, old books, suitcases, and a metal trunk. I grabbed a flashlight and opened the trunk. Inside was a diary. Red leather cover. On the first page, Maggie, my last summer here. As I flipped through the pages, each entry grew darker and more disturbing. June 14th, 1961. Mom told me to stay away from the chair. They say someone else lives in it, but I think it's my friend. June 29th, 1961. The moment I sat in the chair, I heard its voice. It said, "I want to live inside you." July 12th, 1961. I spilled my blood on the chair. It said it was necessary. Now I'm hers forever. I closed the diary. My body trembled. Grandma had shared that chair with something else. And now, that thing had awakened again. Night fell. But this time, I couldn't sleep. I just sat there. Lights on. Phone charging. Then the sound returned. Creak, creak. But the chair wasn't in the living room anymore. It was now in the hallway, right outside the bedroom door. And sitting in the chair was someone in a white robe, head bowed, knitting needles in hand. Then they lifted their head, and from their lips came the words, "Will you do what I did?" I slammed the door shut, locked it tight, but from inside came a voice. "Locks can't stop me, Ethan." She dragged out my name, like every syllable was pulling my soul out. I waited for dawn, but time froze that night. My phone died, battery full just moments ago. And then, in front of my eyes, on the mirror in my room, a word written in blood: "Sit." The next morning, I ran to the church, told Father Ray everything. He said, "This isn't a ghost. It's an anchor. That chair has become a gateway between 2 worlds." I asked, "Can it be destroyed?" He said, "That chair can only be destroyed when its connection to the person who first accepted it is broken. And your grandma hasn't let it go yet." That night when I came back home, the door was wide open, and from inside came a voice. "Ethan, come. The time has come." I went to the living room. The chair was burning in flames, but no fire had been set. And inside it, in the white robe, was Grandma's fading figure, disappearing forever. Her face looked at me. No tears in her eyes, only ashes flowing down. Then she said, "Either free me or take my place." I stood there, in the middle of the living room, facing that chair, burning in flames. but the wood wasn't burning. No smell. No smoke. Only inside that chair, in the white robe, Grandma's body was turning to ash. There was no pain on her face. It was like she was happy that I had come back. Then her voice echoed once more. Ethan, make your choice. Either you set me free, or become part of this swing yourself. I stepped back, tried to close the door, but the handle wouldn't budge. Then in the mirror, those same words appeared. Downstairs. Downstairs. The basement. Where I had never gone. Grandma always forbade it. There's nothing down there, Ethan, she used to say. But now, maybe that was the answer to all this. I went to the basement, opened the door. A cold gust of air hit my face. The darkness was so deep. Even my flashlight seemed weak. As I stepped down, with every step the same sound echoed. Creak, creak. But this time, it wasn't the chair. It was my mind, hearing every noise like that swing. At the end of the basement was another door. Locked. Rusty. Bound with an old chain. But on the chain was a small key, as if someone wanted me to open it. When I unlocked it, inside was just a small room. And in the center, another chair. Very old. On the armrest, it said, "The First." And beneath it, another diary. The first page read, "If you're reading this, it means the chair chose you. This curse is not from a demon, not from a ghost. It's a deal. Every generation, one person gives their pain, their soul, to the chair. In return, it finds peace. That person is remembered forever. Maggie made this deal during her first summer here. And if you're reading this, you're next on the list." My breath caught. This wasn't some ghost story. It was an agreement. A legacy. The chair wasn't a spirit, but a portal hungry for souls. And it chose those who were lonely, broken, stuck in old wounds. Like me. A voice came from upstairs. "Ethan, time is running out." I closed the diary. Decided I had to destroy the chair. Not just with fire. Not just with an axe. I had to cut its spiritual roots. I went back to the church. Met Father Ray. He said, "You must do what Maggie never did. Sit in the chair and reject it. No matter what happens, don't back down. Otherwise, you'll become part of it." That night, I returned home. The chair was in its place. And this time, it wasn't moving. Silent. Like, waiting. I sat in the chair and felt like I was somewhere else. The house vanished. The room vanished. Only darkness. And some other shadows. Then a face appeared in front of me. Maggie. Grandma. She was crying, but her eyes held gratitude. She said, "Thank you, now I'm free." Then she turned to mist and dissolved into the air. I opened my eyes. The chair was still beneath me, but now it was just a chair. Not moving, not breathing, just empty, as if all the souls had left it. The next morning, I took the chair outside, to the backyard, and burned it. This time, it burned like real wood, turned to ash, and from it came one voice. "Thank you." I left the house. Never went back. But one night, in a hotel room, when I opened my eyes, in the corner of the room, there was a rocking chair. New, but the design, exactly like the old one. And when I looked at it, it slowly rocked. Creak, creak. I burned the chair, but its voice still echoes in my ears. Maybe the chair is gone, but whoever sat in it is now inside me.